Boris Johnson has warned Russia is planning the biggest war in Europe since 1945. The British Prime Minister sounded the alarm as Vladimir Putin showed off his nuclear power. Carrie Ann Greenbank has the latest.
A blatant warning to the West not to mess with Moscow from the world's largest nuclear arsenal. This intercontinental ballistic missile, among those fired from the ground, air and sea, a massive show of Russian firepower. Overseen personally by Vladimir Putin and Belarus leader Alexander Lukashenko. In the rebel-held Donetsk and Luhansk regions, separatist leaders ordered a full military mobilisation of all men of fighting age, claiming Ukraine was about to invade. While the Russian-backed militants increased their bombardment of Ukrainian territory, this checkpoint was shelled. The Interior Minister was forced to run and duck for cover as mortar shells crashed in fields around him. And the government says 2 Ukrainian soldiers were killed.
The plan that we're seeing is for something that could be really the biggest war in Europe since 1945, just in terms of sheer scale.
Tensions sparking a brawl during this live TV broadcast, a journalist punching a pro-Russian politician and putting him in a headlock. Despite warnings from Washington that it may not be wise to leave the country, Ukraine's President Zelensky met world leaders at the Munich Security Conference. Russia didn't send a representative for the first time since 1999.
Russia continues to claim it is ready for talks, while at the same time it narrows the avenues for diplomacy.
As the threat of war looms large, Kiev locals are receiving medical training to help their families or soldiers on the street should it come to that.
It will be a lot of blood, so we need to know how to stop it.
With the sound of explosions in the background, they crawl under barbed wire and navigate obstacles with their eyes closed to mimic wartime scenarios.
If something happened urgently, we know exactly what to do after this training.
Foreigners among those staying put, but sceptical of an invasion.
How many times is he going to say invasion is coming next day? This is not the first time he's said it.
And Carrie Ann joins us live now from Kiev. Carrie, the Ukrainian president is urging Vladimir Putin to meet with him.
Well, he is, Alicia. President Zelensky says he wants to know what Putin wants, so he's calling for a meeting with the Russian president, something that has been blatantly rejected by the Kremlin before. But regardless, today is set to be another big day of crisis talks. Putin will be speaking over the phone with French President Emmanuel Macron, while Joe Biden will be chairing a National Security Council meeting. And our Foreign Minister, Marise Payne, she will be holding talks with her UK counterpart, who has been warning that Putin won't stop with Ukraine. He wants to reunite the Soviet Union. Alicia?
OK, Carrie Ann Greenbank there in Kiev, thank you. Meantime, in Melbourne, hundreds have rallied to condemn Moscow's imminent invasion of Ukraine. Fearing for the safety of relatives, they demanded the withdrawal of Russian troops. Maggie Rayworth was there.
Stop Putin now and Ukraine will resist, were the stern messages written on signs held by demonstrators this afternoon.
Putin out of Ukraine!
Marching through the CBD, rallying against Russia's aggression in Ukraine. In a peaceful protest, they walked from Federation Square.
It's really important to send such a strong signal to the rest of the world that even far away in Australia, that we care for Ukraine.
To Parliament House. Russian President Vladimir Putin approved the deployment of tens of thousands of troops. These demonstrators want them out.
We're in solidarity, we have family over there, we're in solidarity with the Ukrainian people, and we just want peace.
Demonstrators dressed in traditional costume, others wearing T-shirts that read, "Stop Putin your hand on Ukraine." There has been deadly protests in the capital, Kiev, and Australians have been told to leave.
I'm an Australian, but I'm of Ukrainian descent, and all I want is for them to have what I have here, this beautiful country for Ukraine to have it too.
Many of the people marching here today have terrified friends and family living in the Ukraine. Their main goal is to simply show their support. Among the speakers, opposition leader Matthew Guy, who has Ukrainian heritage.
My mother's family is Ukrainian and they're from Europe. Most of them, in fact, all of them are still in the east of Ukraine. It is a concerning time for them. It's a concerning time for any Australian of Ukrainian heritage.
Fear across all of our families over there. It's uncertainty and they don't know what's going to happen the next day.
Maggie Rayworth, 9 News.